So a couple weekends ago was Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, and I went comic hunting. What did I find? Keep watching to find out. So just to give a little backstory, last year, after the holiday season, I kind of was going through Facebook and I realized that one of my local comic shops had some really amazing sales for Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. They had like 50 to 60% off of their back issues on comics, and I decided that this year I was not going to let that offer pass up if they held it. So I was scouring Facebook all of the time ahead of the holiday season, ahead of Thanksgiving, and I saw that they were going to be having the sale. Unfortunately, I was not going to be able to make it on Black Friday. We were actually hosting a Thanksgiving dinner at our house on Friday. I was going to be tied up here at the house all day, and they were having 60% off of all their back issue comics. And I was kind of bummed out about that. The good news is, though, they were also going to have a Small Business Saturday sale the next day, and I was going to be free to attend that. Now the discounts there were 50% off of their comics, so 10% less than the day before, but you know what? 50% off of comics, anytime you can find them, is a great deal in my opinion. So I went ahead and headed down there. Now I was a little curious to see if they pulled things out of their normal inventory, and in my experience when I got there, that didn't seem to be the case. Now, I looked for mostly books to fill my runs. I've been doing that lately. My last video, I went to Air Capital Comic Con, and my focus there was to get a bunch of run filler books. And I was kind of doing the same thing here, just trying to fill in my Amazing Spider-Man and X-Men runs, but I did buy a couple books that were not necessarily run fillers because they had prices that were too good to pass up. Let's go ahead and take a look at what I got. All right, first up here, a couple Spawn books, number 13 and number 72, both books I needed for my collection. Just a basic Spectacular Spider-Man here. Then we have some Uncanny X-Men books. Again, I was mostly looking for books to fill in my X-Men and Amazing Spider-Man runs. So I got a couple books here, a couple minor keys here and there in both of these piles I'm going to go through. I'm going to focus on a couple of these books later on in the video. Again, nothing too crazy in any of these piles here, either with X-Men or Spider-Man. Definitely love these sub 200 covers of Amazing Spider-Man. That's kind of what I've been working on, is my sub 200 run right now for Amazing Spider-Man. I've got most of everything above that. Then I move on to Marvel Tales. This is another run that I've been working to complete, and I'm getting pretty full on my run, to be honest. I've picked up a couple duplicates here and there, but I love these covers. They're like, you know, you get all the old artwork from the original Amazing Spider-Man. So if you're looking for a really cheap way to get some of these older Spider-Man stories that you can't afford the originals of, I really like the Marvel Tales series for that. Picked up a couple of duplicates here and there as well. I'm not sure exactly how I ended up buying two of the same book at the same store on the same day, but hey, it happens. As you can see, I'm going down here in numerical order, and there's a nice book right there, 106, the retelling of Amazing Spider-Man 129. Then we got into some really early Marvel Tales books, sub 20. I really love these covers. I actually put these in Mylars because they're square-bound books, and I really like how they present in the Mylars for being as old a books as they are. Next up are Marvel Collector's Item Classics. This is another run I've been grabbing here and there when I find them. For the price though, these things were definitely worth picking up. I think they were all labeled like $5 or so, so I was able to pick them up for like $2.50 each. Definitely some cool retellings in these as well. And then here's a couple one-offs, a House of Mystery and a Giant Size Chillers. Let's take a closer look at a few of these books. First up, we have this giant size Chillers #1. I just had to grab this. I love this cover. I love these older horror books, and it was definitely a book I had to get for the price. Here we have House of Mystery 290. This is the first appearance of I, Vampire and Mary Blood Queen. There's just some early Marvel Tales books showing off all the stories you can see within each of these Marvel Tales books. Number 11 here shows the first meeting of Spider-Man and Daredevil. As I mentioned earlier, I also picked up Marvel Tales 106, the retelling of Amazing Spider-Man 129. Obviously, first appearance of the Punisher as well as the Jackal. But yeah, that book was pretty beat up, but you know what? For the price, I just had to grab it. And then I also grabbed these collector's item classics. Again, just love the art on the cover of these. It's a good way to get some older books for really cheap prices, especially when you're getting them 50% off. None of these books are in amazing condition, but you know what? I'm happy to add on to my collection nonetheless. Last but not least, we have some run fillers for my Uncanny X-Men and Amazing Spider-Man runs. First up, we had Uncanny X-Men 184. That's the first appearance of Forge and the first appearance of Naze. Next up, we had X-Men 186. This is actually the first cover of Forge in the Uncanny X-Men series. Not a huge fan of this artwork, to be honest. I know that may get some hate, but I really just can't stand that cover. Next up was X-Men 214. This is when Dazzler joins the X-Men. Moving over to Amazing Spider-Man, we have Amazing Spider-Man 143. This is a minor key here, the first kiss between Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson, and the first appearance of Cyclone. Following that is ASM 144. That's the first appearance of Gwen Stacy's clone. Look at the look of surprise on Spider-Man's face there. And then next up was ASM 148. This one has the identity of Jackal being revealed. It's the first cover of Jackal, and we have a classic bondage cover, Spidey all chained up there. So just to bring it back around to the beginning of the story, you know, I had to host family over at my house on Black Friday and wasn't able to attend and get that 60% off at this local comic shop. But I was able to attend on Saturday, and I was really thankful for that, right? Getting half off of all their back issue comics was just an amazing deal. Now, as you can see, I didn't buy any huge keys or anything like that, and really, this shop isn't one that has a lot of those huge keys all the time, but they had a lot of good run fillers that I needed and a couple books that I didn't need, but I really thought I would pick up for the price. So definitely happy that I was able to get out there on Saturday. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for us. If you enjoyed this content, go ahead and give me a like. And if you really want to see more videos like this, consider giving me a follow. Also, let me know, did you buy any comics on Black Friday or Small Business Saturday? Share them down in the comments below. Until next time, we'll catch you guys later.